Have you ever wondered how much it really costs to start selling on Amazon? Well, there's one big cost that might surprise you that I don't hear anybody talking about. Welcome to FBA Unfiltered. If you're new here, we are documenting step by step how we're launching this new product on Amazon FBA. My name is Taylor, and in this video, we're going to cover the number one biggest cost that I think is crucial for you to understand if you want to have success with your first Amazon product. So let's get into it. Okay, so I've created a little launch operations calculator spreadsheet here for you guys to follow along. And these examples that we're going over today are just estimates and really just to give you an idea of the thought process behind estimating your costs for starting on Amazon. If you want to get your hands on this launch operations calculator spreadsheet, there will be a link in the description. Simply click that link and click File and then make a copy, and you'll be able to edit that version, and you can alter this to keep track of your own personal finances as you launch your Amazon product. All right, so I've gone ahead and just set up kind of like an idealized estimate for a pretty bare bones startup for an Amazon product. And so we'll go through this very quickly. We have our startup costs here, also called the launch costs here down in the bottom. That's the first page of the spreadsheet. You'll see we have a logo design for $150. Some packaging design, software and tools such as Helium 10, your Amazon seller fee for a couple months, samples or competitor products, filing and registering your business, getting barcodes, getting listing photos, getting a trademark, and maybe even getting an inspection. We'll see down here at the bottom, we have a total of $1,620, which I think is very reasonable. We're trying to set up a best case scenario here to make sense of the one sneaky hidden cost that nobody is talking about when it comes to selling on Amazon. I kind of want to steel man the argument here, okay? So we're going to try to start this first product launch as cheaply as possible while still doing it the right way. But you'll see that there is a major cost here that sneaks up on a lot of new sellers because nobody is talking about it and they're totally unprepared. All right, so launch costs are kind of the one-time costs associated with starting your business and launching your first product. But we also need to actually order the first units from the manufacturer. So these are going to be our product costs. So that's the next page of this spreadsheet here. And we're going to focus on order number one. And we're going to say that the product we have identified, we think we can sell about 250 units a month, more or less, based on our research. So we're going to order 500 units off the bat. And for our 500 units, we're going to be charged $3,000 by the manufacturer, and it's going to cost us $500 to ship them here for a total cost of $3,500, which comes out to $7 per unit. Okay, so $7 per unit cost for our first order with a total cost of $3,500. We're going to add those two numbers together, $3,500 here plus the $1,620 from our launch costs. All right, I hope you're still with me so far because we're going to bounce over to our per unit fees and profit page. And we're going to look here again at order number one only. Let's focus on this. So the list price for our product, we're hoping to sell it for $24.99, which means our referral fee is going to be $3.75. Our FBA fee, I've just selected something on the small end, is going to be about $4.25. Again, our cost of goods, that's brought over from the last page, and that's $7 for a total cost per unit of $15. A profit per unit of $9.99, and total fees per unit of $8. All of this information is going to come in handy when we start to break down our actual monthly cash flow. But here is where I want you guys to start paying attention. The margin and ROI figures here. Okay, why is this important? Well, if you have been paying attention to any of the videos on this channel, you'll hear Rami and I frequently discuss ROI, or return on investment. Most people you'll see online talk a lot about margin. Okay, and your profit margin is obviously important. I don't want to discount that at all, but nobody seems to be talking about ROI. And in this video, I wanted to try to compare and contrast the major differences that can come about when you have differing ROIs. Okay, so I've tried to keep most things pretty similar between this first product and the next product example that we're going to cover. And the main difference is going to be in ROI. Okay, so some more background on this product. About $10 profit margin. You've probably heard, if you've watched any content online, that that's kind of what people like to see for a profit margin. So that's good. And then we have a profit margin percent of basically 40%, which is on the high end. and that's good as well. You'll hear people frequently say around 30 to 40% profit margin is a really good place to be. So this product is meeting all of those benchmarks, and its sales price is $24.99. So you'll hear a lot of people say, oh, don't sell things for less than $10, or don't sell things for less than $15, don't sell things for less than $20, etc., etc. So we're in the ballpark there as well. Quick recap, we have our launch costs here, $16.20. We have our first production run here. That cost us $3,500. We've broken down the fees. We see that we're going to make $9.99 in profit per unit. We have a margin of 40%, and we have an ROI of 142%. This figure is what we're going to focus on, and the importance of this figure moving forward, because an ROI of less than 100% makes things really complicated and really compounds the issue of the most important hidden cost that nobody is aware of when they first start selling on Amazon. What do I mean? All right, let's come over to our actual monthly cash flow. Here we have our first few months of sales with this product. Okay, so we just started selling. It's month one. The listing's brand new. We sell about 100 units. We make $2,499 in revenue. We subtract the product costs and we make right around $1,000 in profit. All of this is just carried over directly from the previous pages of this spreadsheet. We have 400 units remaining. That's kind of this is an easy breakdown, right? You could say, okay, cool, I'm making $1,000 profit that month. What we also need to pay attention to is, where are you at in your total investment and how much money is actually in your bank account moving forward? And that's what I've tried to encapsulate here in the bottom 3 cells of this spreadsheet. So in this case, we started with a total cost of, $16.20 plus $3,500 right here. Okay, so we were minus $5,120 in the bank, essentially, right? Because those were our startup costs for this first order. All right, then we sold 100 units. Now, that's going to give us our net cash flow. Now, this number, you might notice, is different than the profit, okay? Why is that? That's because here in the profit figure, we've calculated the product cost out of the revenue, okay? The actual per unit cost of the product itself. Here, we have the cost of the product already included. So we don't want to count that product cost again. So here in this cell, we have essentially just subtracted the Amazon fees. So that's why this number differs here, and that's why it's larger, is because we're not taking out the cost of the actual product from our net cash flow, because that's what's factored into our total investment so far. Okay, I hope that makes sense, because that leaves us with a balance of negative $3,421 in our bank account. Okay, so we're making progress. We're chipping away at our initial investment. We're putting some money back in the bank. Next month, we sell 250 units. That's great. That was our goal. That's kind of what we estimated with this product. You can see here our total revenue, our total product costs, and our bottom line profit for that month. All right. And you can see we have 150 units remaining. And here we can see we started the month with negative $3,421. And our cash flow is now up to $4,247 for that month. So that's great. We are now actually in the green on our balance sheet. Okay, we've recouped all of our initial losses, or all of our initial investment would be a better way to say it. Okay, so hopefully you're with me so far. And if you are, you might have identified an issue, which is we sold 250 units this month, leaving us with only 150 units in stock. Okay, so now we come into month 3 here and we need to reorder. And we've actually gone ahead and we've sold all of our units that we had on hand. Here's our revenue, here's our product cost, so here's our profit for that month, and here is our net cash flow. However, you might have noticed we've gone back into the red here. So what happened here? Well, that's because we had to place our second manufacturer order, and this is where things can go real sideways for a lot of new sellers. So if we come over back to the product costs here, you can see I've put in order number 2, and now order number 2, we're actually going to go ahead, right? We've proven that this product is working. You know, we've hit our goal sales of 250 units a month right out of the gate in month 2. So it wouldn't make much sense to order 500 more units, because we're just going to be stuck reordering every 2 months, which is obscene. That's much too quick of a turnaround, especially if you have an extended lead time with your product, or if your product is coming from overseas, because it's frequently 30 days just in shipping time alone. So you're looking at 1 month of just lead time in shipping alone, let alone actually making the product. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to order 1,000 units. And that way we can also take advantage of a price cut on our bulk order, right? Most manufacturers will give you some leeway once you get to the 1,000 unit mark. And so you can see here, we're actually going to save $1.25 per unit by bumping up to the 1,000 unit MOQ mark. But that does mean we have to buy this for $5,750. So we're looking at $5,750 coming out of the bank account, but you can see here, we only have $827 in our bank account. After recouping our initial investment, we're only in the green $827. So now we have to buy that order and we're going to go back into the red. So now we're back negative $4,923. I hope you all are following along because this is very important. This is the single most important cost that I don't hear anybody talking about when dealing with new sellers on Amazon. After we add our net cash flow from this third month of selling, you can see we're inching our way back up. We're at negative $2,374. And in month 4, we get our inventory back in stock. We were out of stock for some period of time, but now we're back. We sell another 150 units. And you'll notice our profit margin goes up because we lowered our per unit cost and we have 850 units left in stock. And now here we go. We're back. We're going to be back into the green here in month 4 with $174 in the bank. And moving forward, you can see now we're going to stack some cash. So things are looking pretty good. You can see by the end of month 5, we're going to be in the green $4,000 and about $4,500. Month 6, we're going to be up to $8,500. All right. And now as we come over to months 7 and 8, we're going to place our third manufacturer order. All right. So sales have held steady at our goal of 250 units per month. And we want to, we want to give ourselves a healthy supply of inventory. So, we want maybe about 6 months of inventory, give or take. So we're going to go ahead and order 1,500 units for our third supply order and take advantage of another price discount from the manufacturer. And you can see we have over $8,000 to work with to place this third order. And we're placing it before we've run out of stock entirely so that hopefully we stay in stock the whole time without interruption. So we'll come back over to our product costs. And for our third production order, you see we're ordering 1,500 units. We save another $1 off the price by adding that another 500 units to the MOQ. And our total cost for this order is going to be $7,125. And you can see that we have that money in the bank. Okay, so we can stay in the green, we can order that chunk of inventory, and now we're just rolling on through. We're going to have approximately 6 months of inventory on hand, which gives us about 4 months, give or take, before we have to deal with another manufacturer order, which is nice. And you can see we're starting to make some money. Okay, the bank account tally is starting to add up. All right, so coming back to our per unit profit here, you can see that this product started with an ROI of 142%, went up to 195% on order number 2, and continued to go up above 200% on order number 3. Okay, this is super important because that is really the difference here that allowed us to stay in the green while making purchase number 3 for our inventory. And that helped us out here with order number 2, and we only had to dip down about $4,000 into the red again, placing that second order. Okay, if that seems like a lot of money, I want you to look at a different example here, okay? Because I've prepared a contrasting example so you can see how important this ROI figure is and how important factoring in this second manufacturing order is when you're calculating your initial investment that you want to make into selling on Amazon, right? Because really, if you're smart, you're probably going to want to account for not only your overall startup costs, but also estimate and factor in your second manufacturer order into your initial investment, essentially, because you're going to need that cash on hand to place that second order. Now, there's other ways to do this. I personally utilize business credit, but I'm not advising anybody to go into debt. I'm not your financial advisor. and your mileage may vary. And that's a topic for a different discussion. But let me show you what happens when you have another really promising product that does not have the same ROI, and we'll see how this can be pretty devastating for new sellers who are short on capital investment. So here's product number 2, okay? I'm going to keep this as apples to apples as possible. We have the same launch costs initially, $1,620, but our product costs are going to be a little different, okay? Because the product that we've identified here that we want to sell is a $40 product now. So we've got a really sweet sales price here. And we're going to go ahead and source that first product again, 500 units, and we're going to source it for $14.50 per unit, which breaks down as follows. So here's our cost of goods, here's our referral fee and our FBA fee, and now you'll see our total cost per unit is $27.75. Our profit per unit is $12.24, so that's fantastic. Our fees are $13.25. You'll see our margin is almost 31%. So that's all really good. If you were to talk to or take advice from most of the quote unquote Amazon gurus you see on YouTube, they'll be like, yo, you have a profit margin of 31% and you're making $12 plus in profit per unit. That is a great product, right? And it is. In a lot of ways, this would be a great product opportunity, but I want you to look at this figure here, this ROI. It's down to 84%, okay? And I want to show you how this plays out when we actually start selling this product. So here we are. Once again, month 1, we sell 100 units. You'll see our revenue and costs are factored in. We get our profit here, which is more, right? This is more than product number 1, okay? But our initial investment was also much higher than product number 1. And we'll see here that we're still in the negative after month 1. We're down $6,196 here. We've only recouped a part of our initial investment so far. Okay, not so bad, right? Because we're coming in month number 2. We hit our sales goal of 250 units. You see our revenue and product costs and profit for that month factored in. And you can see here, wow, we actually got into the green, right? On month number 2, our net cash flow came in, was more than enough to recoup our initial investment. We're up almost $500. Okay, but here we go. We have to now start thinking about placing that second manufacturer order, right? Because we only have 150 units left. We sell all of them, right? So we're running out of stock. And now we have to place manufacturer order number 2. And similarly, as the last product, we don't want to order another 500 units because we're just going to basically immediately have to place another order. So we're going to try to save some money. We're going to bump up to 1,000 units. And we're going to get a pretty good savings here, right? Even more than we did on product 1 by jumping up here. We're going to save $1.75 per unit by making this jump. But we are going to have to spend $12,750 to make this order happen. And so when we come back over here, you'll see that now we're going to be down again $8,249 after placing that order in month 3. We're struggling a little bit with sales because we were out of stock for some period of time. So we sell 150 units in month 4, and you can see how the numbers play out. We'd still be $4,000 in the red after month 4. Now month 5 is looking good. We're back up hitting our sales numbers, and you can see we make it into the green with about $2,500 in our bank account in month 5. Month 6, everything's going according to plan. We make it up to $9,000 in the account after month 6. But hold up, here we go again. We're going to have to order more units. And to keep this apples and apples, we're going to try to order another 6 months of inventory, right? We realize we don't want to have to keep playing catch up with staying in stock. We want to have a healthy inventory level so that we don't run out during holidays or peak selling events. And so we're going to try to put in an order for 1,500 units. And you can see that, yeah, we get another pretty good deal. We get to shave off $1.25 from our per unit costs. We order 1,500 units, but that's going to cost us $17,250. And when we come back over here, you'll see we only had $9,000 in the bank. And so we're going to be negative again. Okay, we're month number 7 here. We're back in the red, and we're only going to make it out of that loop coming forward out of month 8, 9, 10, and so on moving forward. So that means if you have this lower ROI figure to start with, something less than 100%, you might be facing this issue, which is essentially that you're going to have to take into account not only your startup costs and your first production order, not just your second production order, but also your third production order in terms of how much capital you're going to invest in getting this product off the ground. Okay, so that's the main difference. When we come back to product number one, you can see we just needed to factor in our initial costs and our first manufacturer order and our second manufacturer order. Order number three, we were fine. We were in the green, okay? We were playing with house money, all right? But when you lower that ROI and you drop below 100%, you may start running into this issue where you're looking 7 months in to starting selling on Amazon and you still need to have cash on hand that you can pump into this business to keep it running. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I tried really hard to set up these spreadsheets so it would be an apples to apples comparison. Obviously, take it with a grain of salt. I'm just trying to articulate this concept so that hopefully you can understand why ROI is so important and why, as a new seller, you must factor in at least your second manufacturer order, if not your third manufacturer order, into your initial calculations for how much money you want to invest in starting your Amazon business. All right, that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please leave a like. If you have any questions, leave a comment. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on this product going live on Amazon soon. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.